ML Sports Take brought to you by Stanley Law Offices and Welch & Company Jewelers. One thing last year that we were wondering as St. Bonaventure basketball fans, hey, what about the collection of guys last minute, transfer portal, meshing? You know, you play like a month of games, you just don't know how good people are going to be. By the time a 10 plays rolls around, what is this team? Are we going to know enough about this team? And it turns out that the Bonnies struggled. They had their moments where they looked like they really had cohesion on the court, but Mark Schmidt and his staff being able to bring back all of these guys, most notably the veteran players like Daryl Banks III, obviously, who's going to be a huge factor and is a guy who can score anywhere on the floor, and Kyra Luke. That's an experienced backcourt. What do we hear about in March? Guards help you win in March. Experience helps you win in March. Well, guess what? Guards with experience. That's the 1-2 punch. You've got the combo covered with Bonnie's basketball here with the backcourt. And then, you know, there were a couple of guys we weren't sure about. Jan Farrell, Barry Evans, they're back as well. Then you add some pieces to the mix in terms of Micah Adams-Woods, Charles Pride, some Central New York flavor there, and the rest of the roster. Chad Venning looks good in the offseason as well. But now they have last year, and I'm not going to call it dysfunction. I'm not going to call it, disorganized. I'm just going to call it life in college basketball. They had that experience to go, whoa, remember when we were doing this all year long? And, the practices can be the practices. You can look good in practice. Robert Saleh says that Zach Wilson looks good in practice. Yeah, but the games are a little bit different. But then you add, some freshman players to it. They can get the feel. The veteran players, the newcomers who have been in other places in college basketball, like your Cincinnati's and elsewhere transferring in. Everybody's going to be able to share their own experiences, of what it's like to have that roller coaster. But the core guys come back with the experience as Bonnies in that uniform, in that system, with that staff, with that head coach, with that campus, with everything, with that league and the A-10. And they're going to be able to share it with everybody else. And then those experiences come in as well, right from the get-go. And that's where I think it's big that actually when you look back at last year, even as frustrated as we were as fans, we look at this year now and go, ooh, okay, last year is going to help these guys with the growing pains from last year growing into this, and I am so fired up for this team, I can't even tell you right now. ML Sports Take brought to you by Welch & Company Jewelers, Stanley Law Offices, and Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel, ML Sports Platter on YouTube, and as I always tell you, enjoy the games.